Multimeters. A digital multimeter is a device that can measure voltage, current, or resistance, but only one at a time. And here's a nice picture of one. There are many different kinds of multimeters, but each one typically has a display, a select mode switch over here, and then some banana plugs where you can plug in two probes. The display shows both the measured value and the scale selected by the select mode switch. Let's look at a typical multimeter, and this symbol here, which is found here, measures DC voltage. That is the primary type of voltage measured in introductory physics courses. It is typically supplied by batteries. This ohm symbol here measures resistance, that's over there. This one measures AC voltage, which is typically used by devices plugged into power outlets. And finally, this symbol here measures direct current. Some multimeters also measure alternating current. The settings for each of the measurable quantities represent a maximum measurable value. And that's shown over here in this light green box. That's our selector switch. Each of these settings also implies a scale. For example, the 200 little m setting represents not 200 meters, but 200 millivolts, or another way of writing that is 200 millivolts. We spell out the little m. All measurements displayed up here will be in millivolts when we select that. We'll now go to the lower right-hand section of the multimeter, in that box there, and the empty plugs in that section are for the probes that also attach to the circuit element being measured. The COM port, or common grounding port, is typically used as the negative terminal in a circuit. This port here, the V, ohm, milliamp port, measures voltage, resistance, and milliamps, although only one at a time. And to measure more than milliamps, many multimeters have a separate port, such as the 10 amp port shown here. And that's up here in the corner, the right hand there. That's if you have a larger current that you want to measure. Next to each of the ports, other than the COM, and the COM is the one down here, which is also used as a ground or the negative terminal, they will show the limits for each measurement and the device. For example, the middle port over here, that has a maximum DC voltage of 1000 volts. Exceeding the amounts listed can burn out the fuse in the device, which stops the multimeter from working temporarily. The fuse protects the multimeter from harm. It can be replaced if needed. The probes attach to the multimeter and the circuit or element being measured. The pointed ends are down here, and they're a little sharp, so be careful with them. And they are used to measure your circuit element. The other ends, and that's these two guys over here, a lot softer looking, those are the banana plugs. They go into the multimeter. While the color of the wire doesn't affect the operation of anything, by convention, we connect the black wire to the COM port, the ground port, or the negative voltage port, and the red wire is attached to the port on the multimeter corresponding to the correct mode. To use the probes, connect the banana plugs, that's these guys right here, into the multimeter in accordance with the settings required. The red probe, and we're going to look at the red and black probe down here, the red goes to the positive side of the circuit element, which is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. The black probe, or COM, connects to the negative side of the circuit element. That is typically connected, or is connected, to the negative terminal of the battery. If you place the probes in the opposite of this order, you'll get the same magnitude of the voltage or current, but you will get an opposite sign. To correct the mistake, simply switch the positions of the probes. These guys here.